All right, we are back. Jason Lee, joined by Brian Francioli. And if we look back, we now have our first round of 16 participant. It is Baby Bye-Bye. I saw you congratulating him. Actually, you've got a relationship with him. Not one of those relationships, but, you are familiar with each other.
Absolutely. It's good to meet up. I was a member of E-Nature team. E-Nature turned into Eastro. StarCraft 1. The kid is the nicest guy ever. You saw how handsome he is and how smooth he is talking. And his control was just ridiculous. Cool guy to be friends with, actually.
Maybe you do have a relationship.
Well, can't say that on camera.
All right. Well, either way, congratulations to Baby Bye-Bye. Very well played.
Very well played.
And certainly, he is into the next round, and he's got to be very pleased with that. So another Protoss advancing. Looking at our second match of the evening, we have TSL Rain. He is a Terran player against another Terran player, OGS Ensnare. Now, yesterday, every player from OGS, five of them, advanced to the round of 32. And this is a clan that is on the move, and they're actually all former StarCraft 1 pro gamers, so makes sense.
Very good guy, and if I recall, I believe he was top 4. This OGS Ensnare was top 4 in the last GSL. But, and these guys are monsters, but I was just talking to the TSL coach, manager, during the break there, and he's telling me that Rain is a practice machine, and he's going to give this guy a run for his money. So I'm getting wiggly again. Okay,
well, it's going to be very exciting. People... I'm assuming that with a nickname or an ID like Rain, he's probably referring to the singer or the Korean idol Rain, or they call him B in Korea, but he was in Ninja Assassins, so a very popular pop idol here in Korea. And I guess Rain, I'm sure, is IDing himself after that figure, OGS Ensnare. StarCraft fans, I don't have to explain what his ID is probably all about. And this is going to be a Terran versus Terran. We had a few of these yesterday, but we're back to another TVT today. Let's talk about what we might be seeing in terms of unit combinations.
Well, again, we're going to see some sort of just standard scout your opponent, make a couple Marines, tech. It's going to be factory starport. It really depends on the players and their style, but... Again, I want to see a lot of tank marine pushes against each other. We haven't seen a whole lot of that in the GSL. We've seen, hey, I'm going to go this way, you go that way, then we see who wins. I want to see two people do the exact same thing and fight it out, duke it out, box it out.
Well, we've seen that plenty of times in mirror matchups, and let's see if that is going to be the case this time around. I think yesterday we saw a lot of Banshee rushes, and sometimes they're successful, sometimes they weren't, but we'll see what is going to happen today. We're going to take a look at our players. They are standing by. As mentioned, it is TSL Rain as well as OGS Ensnare. And here they are, standing by in their studios. Park Seo-young is known as TSL Rain. He is just 20 years of age. I shouldn't say 20. That's probably a very common age to be as a pro gamer. Meanwhile, his opponent, Kim Sang-chul, is known as OGS Ensnare. He is 24 years of age. Steps of War, his favorite map. That is going to be the map for set number 3 if we get to a set 3, of course. Meanwhile, Delta Quadrant is the favorite map for TSL Rain, and that is going to be our map for set number 1. So both of these players with maps that they like to play on involved in this particular matchup. And, I like this. When we look at OGS Ensnare, what's your favorite unit? SCV, Marine, Reaper, Marauder, Medivac, Dropship. Yeah, I like everything.
He likes it all. Maybe he'll make every one of them for us in this game.
I would love to see something like that. Meanwhile, it was OGS Ensnare defeating Suzy Wera in the round of 64, while TSL Rain defeated Choya Fo in the round of 64. All right, well, there are our introductions of the players. And we're going to take a look at the maps of the players that they're going to be using in just a moment. Now, you said that it was Ensnare is the practice machine, or did you say that Rain was our practice machine?
You know, it's probably a safe bet to say both of them are, but TSL, you know, of course, that has Wonky. I think he goes by Fruit Dealer here. He was the #1 player in the last GSL. And TSL is just grabbing up all the monster players they can get, and apparently they're just sitting around playing StarCraft 2 all day, having the best time of their life, winning lots of money, and coming out on TV. So,
well, let's take a look at the sets, the maps for the sets we're going to be using. Set number 1, Delta Quadrant. Set number 2 will be on Zel Naga Caverns. And as mentioned, if we need a third set, it will be on Steps of War. Now, usually we might talk about advantages that either of these players might have with the particular maps that we're going to be using, but in this particular case, of course, it's a mirror matchup, so it doesn't really matter in terms of the race versus race, but what we can say, as I said, in set number 1, Delta Quadrant is actually the favorite map for TSL Rain, so if we're going to give one person an advantage, it's probably got to be Rain for set number 1.
You know, and also he knows he's going up against, you know, one of the guys that's already demonstrated his ability. So he's thinking, well, wow, this might be hard, but you know what? This is on my favorite map. So start the match off right, hopefully, for TSL Rain on this Delta Quadrant map.
We'll see if that is the case or not. So one player has advanced to the round of 16. We're looking to see who is going to be the second player to join him. And we are going to find out in a moment. Will it be TSL Rain or will it be OGS Ensnare? OGS, as mentioned yesterday, were outstanding. And a lot of those were Terran players, by the way, including Nada. So we'll see if we can continue the OGS tear that they have been on, or will it be TSL, the team that puts a stop to their run or not. I think we are getting set for the set to go. Set number 1, as mentioned, Delta Quadrant is going to be the map. And are we ready? Yep, we are standing by for the game. Okay, let's go to set number 1. Okay, we are set to go, and our red Terran at the bottom left is Rain. Over in the opposite corner, upper right corner at 1 o'clock, our blue Terran is OGS Ensnare.
OGS Ensnare.
Both players bringing their fans along with them, I see.
Well, we've got a battle of two of the more well-known teams here of StarCraft 2. Supply Depot starting off inside the base as opposed to by the choke point. You know, everyone talks about the patch basically saying that it's suicidal to go barracks before Supply Depot. Just as a thought, what about in a mirror matchup? In a mirror matchup, because you're against Terran anyways, is it the one time that you might go racks before Supply?
Well, actually, the big news is they've stopped, the patch stopped that. A Rax is no longer able to be built before Supply. That's why we don't see the fast Reapers anymore in T vs Z, and you know, I'm not sure if it's affected T vs T at all. I suppose in a metagame sense it has a little bit, but you know, I'm content to see Depot, Rax, Factory, Starport, these kind of builds in T vs T, you know, all day long.
Refinery on the way and now complete for Ensnare, and the barracks also complete as he's going to start scouting out. Meanwhile, Rain's SCV is already approaching his base. So in terms of information gathering, Rain is going to pick it up a little bit sooner. First Marine out to the choke point, and that is going to allow him to prevent the SCV from getting inside his base.
Yeah, it looks like Ensnare was content to not only scout late, but check out the top left real quick to make sure no cheese is going on. I kind of like that from a player. You know, first game, anything could happen. You know, taking extra care to make sure he's not getting cheesed.
Marines guarding the rampway to make sure there's no aggression. And nothing too out of the ordinary so far. Second refinery almost complete.
Nice reactions from Rain there. He had 3 Marines gunning for his SCV there.
And takes out one of Ensnare's SCV as he oversteps his boundary. Nice play there by Rain. By the way, I didn't mention in the player introduction, Rain actually prefers to play against Terran. So he likes the Terran versus Terran matchup. He likes this map. Everything going in his way. And Hellion a little bit late getting there for Rain, and that is going to back him up a bit now.
Oh, he's got to pull a couple SCVs here to hold his ramp. Repair that Hellion.
And here they come. Infiltrating into the main base here is Ensnare.
Well, he's got to be careful not to lose those SCVs from the flame.
Marine almost taken out. Hellion doing a lot of damage here by Ensnare. Ensnare finally loses his Hellion, and that should spell the end of these Marines shortly thereafter. And there it is, but
the damage was done.
Yeah, a little bit of damage there.
Ensnare already has his tank, and Rain is just now starting his first one. So if this is any sign of the game to come, you know, Rain's going to be playing catch-up.
Starport on the way for Ensnare. Command center complete for Rain. Now, did Ensnare have a command center as well, or has he gone straight to...
you know, he's decided to go Army first, and he's building his command center back in behind his base in this destructible debris natural here.
And there it is, right there.
Problem is, 2 tanks are out, and he's going to be applying the pressure, so I don't think that command center is going to be good for much more than a mule, which is quite good, but he really, he's going to have to be careful here in the next probably minute and a half to be not siege pushed into certain death.
And here it comes, Ensnare, the aggressor in this game so far, and he is continuing his aggression.
Walking up the ramp.
Tank at the rampway, it is not, boy, loses the tank. Brutal. And Ensnare coming up.
And that's going to end the game right there.
That should be GG. Just doesn't have much left, unless another tank, it does get another tank out. But let's see, a bunker is being built as well, but is he going to be able to get in there? Siege mode upgraded for Ensnare. He's got a siege tank on the ramp. His second tank sieges as well, and that is going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back. Although it's a couple of tanks, that's probably bigger than a straw. GG as Ensnare goes on to victory in set number 1. So this torrid pace that the OGS clan is on continues as another OGS victory here. And a nice win here for Ensnare. I've got to like the fact, you know, it just started very early on with that Hellion coming out first. He was able to be the aggressor and getting into the main. Boy, you said right away he's going to need some SCVs to block the rampway. Did not get there in time, and that might have been the beginning of the end right there.
It was, I think the big thing was also in the center. He had seen the Marines come, he had seen them go, and he's like, okay, well, I'll just move out into the center and do what I was going to do. He wasn't thinking, well, hey, maybe my opponent's camping it. You know, he's got to be more careful with his units, and, you know, mirror matches, like you said, we're going to see the exact same units a lot of the time. So if you give away 2 or 3 of a 6 unit army, how are you going to win?
I wonder if he got overconfident at one point. There was that moment where Ensnare had his SCV chasing down the other SCV of Reigns and eventually kind of walked into an ambush of 3 Marines.
Yeah.
It took out the Ensnare SCV in a matter of less than a second. And I almost wonder if he got overconfident, pushed his units out because of that, and walked into another trap the other way. It's kind of like,
exactly
I like what you did. I'm going to do the same thing to you.
Yep.
Certainly seemed like it, but that was the first set, ending in a victory to Ensnare. Second set is going to be on Xel'Naga Caverns, so we're going to go there in a moment. Keep in mind, if there is a third and deciding set, it will be on Steps of War, and that is Ensnare's favorite map to play on. So we're looking at an uphill climb, nonetheless, for Rain at this point of this tournament for him. He's lost this first set, and he's got 2 more to go, one of those on the favorite map of his opponent. Anything else that you see that Rain could have done to different his outcome?
Well, I did like the early CC he was going for. You know, I'd go fast CC all day long if I could, if I knew my opponent wasn't going to direct counter me. But what he did is he moved out with his units to apply pressure while expanding. It's kind of a no-no in RTS games, especially if you're going to lose half your army before you even start attacking.
Yeah, well, it turned out to bite him in the end. He had the command center ready, and as you mentioned, turned out to be more of a white elephant than anything, just sitting there doing nothing. But we'll see. Maybe he's got an opportunity to right what has been wrong in set number 2. We'll have to see what happens on Xel'Naga Caverns. We're going to be standing by for the game. Yeah, okay, we're just about set to go as both players are entering the game at the moment. And let's see what happens. Terran versus Terran, set number 2. It is TSL Rain against OGS Ensnare in this mirror matchup. Okay, we're going to wait a little bit longer. They're just joining in right now. So a couple more seconds here as we're going to kill some time before we get into this match.
And I really hope Rain has learned from his mistake here. I hope we don't see any more silly sacrifices in this next game. And, you know, the first game, I'll let it happen. You know, nerves, the lights on the stage. He's probably sweating bullets. His hand's probably shaking a little bit. So maybe he'll simmer down and show us the skill that I've been hearing about in practice games.
Well, that is true. Also, you know, when you become a practice monster, as they like to say, the question is, does that tag you as something else that, you know, it's kind of a compliment, but it kind of isn't. You know those kind of, hey, you look like you've lost some weight. It's kind of a compliment, but is it really?
Yeah.
Or you look much more handsome now. Does that mean that I wasn't before? But, well, one of those things. Yeah, he's a really good practice player. Let's see if he can get over that hump.
Underline.
Yeah, exactly. Get over that hump or not. We are set to go. So it is Rain versus Ensnare in set number 2. Let's go to Xel'Naga Caverns. Maybe not.
There we go.
Okay.
They've started the game now.
Going into the game.